Okay.
Okay, crossover event of the year. Unreal. Alright. Okay, we are live. Alright, we are live, guys. Can anyone hear me? Just want to see. And Andrew, you could also talk. So Andrew's here.
Hello, everyone.
Can you guys
Hope
hear
you're
us?
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just want to see if they hear us first.
Crossover
Event of the year. Oh, I can hear myself talking. Alright.
I gotta mute myself.
Okay, we are live. Oh, sorry. Alright, we are live, guys. Can anyone hear me? Whoops. Okay, mute. Yeah, so I had the chat on mute. Okay, so everything should be fine. Anyone hear me? Just want to see. Alright. Andrew, you could also talk. So Andrew's here. Alright, we are live now. Alright. Okay, line 11 versions can hear me loud and clear, and then Andrew Johnson, yeah. So they can hear us. Alright, so Ride the Liger says, sound good, and hello, Andrew. Alright, so we are good to go. So we have 11 viewers right now, 10 likes. Okay, that's pretty good. And yeah, so this special guest, Andrew Johnson, I think a lot of people have know who he is. He's the Check the Evidence, the website and YouTube channel. And yeah, he's done a lot of 9/11 stuff way before I was awake, way before. And Andrew, would you like to say hello to to everybody around here?
Hello, everybody around there and around here and around the world. And thanks for tuning in, and thanks for your support. All very much appreciated, and especially Matthew.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and yeah, so you were on. Stu Peters I just made the screen bigger so we can see ourselves, so they can see us. So yeah, so you were on Stu Peters, and then you were on German Warfare yesterday, and now you're on Math Easy.
Yeah. Famous Math Easy Solutions. Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's the thing. A lot of people comment saying I'm a math channel, but why am I doing 9/11 or other stuff? But there's a secret. So there's a secret hidden meaning. The math is actually. It's code name for my name Matthew, so it's actually Matthew Easy. Yeah, so it's I do things what interests me, and math is it's kind of like a workout, a mental workout. So if I don't do math, I don't feel right. But then that helps with logic and everything else. All right, and let's see. 9/11 Revisited says hello from Africa. Sunny G says hello, Andrew, and okay, so we have Sam says great content. Can we visit hyperbolic mapping among 3D coordinates? How is meant to be proven with a proof? All right, so we have a math person here. Andrew, would you like to answer the math question there?
The math question. Let's see.
No.
I can't. Great.
Yeah, no, it's sorry, it's a good recommendation. Good recommendation.
I think what's going into your live stream, Matthew, is the you getting the screen within the screen.
Oh, are we?
I thought what I thought might happen, because you know you're sharing your feed stream, which has got the live stream in it, so you're getting like a window within a window. I mean,
is it happening still?
Our faces are quite small.
Well, I made this face small, but it should be in the bottom left corner. Is everything?
Oh yeah. That's all right. I mean, that's okay. Yeah, that's okay. The faces are in the bottom left corner. That's correct.
Yeah, because you can if you can open the open another window and then mute the live stream, you should be able to see what I'm seeing. Just let me know if everything's fine.
I can see that. I
can
see it.
Yeah, so it just has our face at the bottom left.
Yeah, that's fine then. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so, and then we have, so right now it has the stream, so 22 people are currently watching right now, so that's pretty good stuff.
That's pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, all right, and then so here's the photo I made of the Stu Peters. I just photoshopped myself over him, and I got the photo of you actually from your Facebook profile. I think you're holding.
Yeah, I've got to thank a chap called Dave Hodrian for taking that picture. That was taken in March. I think March last year, March or April last year, 2022. So yeah, he got a good. I scrubbed up pretty well in that one, so that's okay.
Yeah, so it was a good photo. You were holding, I think, the Star Child photo in that.
You're right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, we could talk a bit more about that. I mean, some people are familiar with that, but yeah, there's lots of stories. But yeah. Carry on.
Yeah. All right. So here's the. I'm gonna put this in the chat. So this is the notes right here. Okay, so Sam is a person commenting saying, sorry, is the good recommendation, understanding, introduction to proofs. Is there a good channel on this platform? Hyperbolic mapping amongst 3D corner. I think I might cover that in a future video. So, because I'm still going, I just follow along my textbook. All right. So Sam, yeah, we'll get to that later. Anyways, here's a link I'm putting in the chat. This is the Hive notes of the stream and has a bunch of links. So the first link is, so Andrew Johnson's website, Check the Evidence. So there it is. You can go there and have a look for yourself. And there's that bus that was moved on 9/11 somehow. All right, and then the next, there's his YouTube channel. I just want to put all the links there. And then I see, Andrew, you just uploaded the Star Child skull video.
Right.
And what's interesting is, so I was, just before you uploaded that, I was thinking, oh, we should talk about the Star Child. And then you just suddenly...
okay.
Yeah, so that was pretty...
Oh, that's a bit of a synchronicity then, yeah, okay.
Yeah, and I wanted to compare it with the Mexican, the alien one. And there's a photo I put here. It's pretty interesting. Let me open the photo of the... So the Mexican alien, apparently it's a cake.
I saw that recently. I didn't know which one you meant, but yeah.
Yeah, so it's a cake. Yeah, this is the one. All right. Yeah. Because the Star Child's way more convincing. It would be cool to re-upload. Oh, yeah. Okay, so yes, Alex Fletcher says, would it be cool to re-upload Richard Hall's 3D breakdown of the No Planes? Well, it's not necessarily No Planes. It's no commercial plane. It was something there.
Well, yeah, I mean, well, that's something that's still, for debate, I think, about what actually flew. Yeah. Possibly, it looks like something probably flew, but yeah, go on anyway. Carry on with your.
Yeah. So I wanted to put a link here because someone was posting some fake no plane disinfo, saying that this was behind, this building was behind the plane, but it was all fake. And then I just replied by uploading Richard Hall's video there, so the 3D radar analysis. All right, and so Dave Powell says, my friends feel ignored, make it 25 viewers, easy math. See, we have 22, okay, so 18 now. Okay, let's get focused here. So yeah, the live stream is a bit out there. So your drone warfare interview, I noticed, so you had it yesterday, but they uploaded it today, so it's not live. That was interesting. All right.
Well, it was live yesterday. Yeah, it took place about 3 in the afternoon here, I think.
Okay. So it was actually live. Okay, that's it's interesting. Yeah, so I'll have a look at that when I have some time. So there is the account. So Alex Fletcher says, nice, thanks. Yeah, so that's the video, and I may upload that. The thing with the no plane stuff. On YouTube, they tend to delete the channels if you upload anything.
It is a bit of a sensitive one. Yeah, that's true.
And well, I think it has to do with because my Pizzagate videos all were deleted by YouTube because near the end I mentioned something so according to YouTube policies, you can't deny a violent event took place. So even if you say no planes, you have to put a disclaimer saying the people saying that they had families or whatever. You could say, okay, they possibly were killed, but not as how we were told, or some sort of disclaimer. But it's still very hard because YouTube has a specific policy for you can't deny violent events took place.
They're a bit inconsistent. And I mean, I had one clip from a film called Loose Change, and that was on my channel for I don't know, about 10 years or something, and then it got deleted. So yeah.
Yeah, so I have it. Here's a link. Yeah, that's what I mean. They just added the event denying very recently, and it's pretty much since Pizzagate happened. So this was my Pizzagate. It was deleted, and I said videos denying that a well-documented violent event took place. And if you read the guidelines, they specifically say, for example, someone that watches a conspiracy video and then goes and shoots up a pizzeria. All right. So that's the one I was there. All right, so Alex Fletcher's following me on Twitter now, epic. The building's recoiled. All right, so let's just back. That's why I had these notes here. Otherwise, I'll be in an endless loop of nonsense. All right, so we have... so the other thing I wanted to talk about is the October 4th emergency broadcast. Did you hear about that, Andrew, or no?
No, your message was the first I'd heard about it. Now, this, I think, either took place in the continental US or in US and Canada, because I did open your post when I saw it. Mm-hmm. And this has come from Elsa Scheider, who did the Truth Summit.
Yeah.
And so I'm assuming that this reference to the the emergency broadcast was in Canada or the US. We did have one here earlier in the year. I forget which date it was, but I switched my option off on my cell phone so that I didn't receive these emergency broadcasts. So I don't know what it said here in the UK.
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't get it either. But apparently it was in the US in this. So this person says it was actually. I see what the time. Actually, I got the Okay, I don't have it here, but he said it was earlier, like an hour before our live stream, or 2 hour, or 30 minutes before. But yeah, so the Elsa one. The reason I posted the Elsa one, because it was, she says that it's not just emergency broadcast, but that people were claiming that a devastating illness was going to be spread through the broadcast.
Yeah. Well, what happened here, you see, was that there was a similar thing, as I recall. I didn't follow it closely here because I don't follow as much as I used to now for various reasons. But yeah, somebody said that what happened. Now everyone had been jabbed, with the COVID jabs, and so they were going to do this emergency broadcast from all the cell towers in the UK, and this was going to activate the nanotechnology in the vaccines, and either turn people into zombies or make them die, or make them fall ill or something. And so that story did go around. So Elsa's story, and I didn't see this. I didn't see this until you posted it.
Yeah.
I'm not on Elsa's streams directly. She does message me, but no. So it seems like another version of that's been going around in the US as well. But I didn't see any effects here. So I'm assuming that there aren't any effects in the US, because that was, well, unless somebody tells me any different.
Yeah. So I didn't see anything, but I thought the whole thing was pretty much ludicrous, because this is like a big claim that's very easily like mocked by the mainstream media.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So and then Elsa, of all people, because she was talking about 9/11, etc., and then now you're mixing in with someone saying that radio broadcasts will turn people to zombies.
Well, let's be fair there on this one. Elsa hasn't said that, but I mean that, and I was probably slightly exaggerating from what I heard in the UK, but a few months back, but not a lot. They were saying, we've got all this nanotechnology, etc. That's what they were going to do. And the word zombies, I might have, just been going a bit too far using that. But yeah. I still agree with you that this is a sort of story that can easily get spread.
Yeah.
And you can just get some geezer saying, I've had a tip off from the intelligence services that they're going to do this and it's going to be really bad, and then people will repeat it,
Yeah, no, 100% agree. Because the thing is, just because with Elsa, like anyone that talks about 9/11, like real ones, like Dr. Judy Wood and etc., like the towers turning dust, I kind of hold them to a higher regard. So then she goes over here and says, the article, I have a warning. Yet potential danger could be absolutely and utterly huge, or it could be nothing.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Or it could be delayed to October 11th. So that was an interesting one. And actually, we'll continue through the live stream one. There is one thing that was quite remarkable. I don't know if you've heard about it in 2019. Did you hear about the Seattle November 3 false flag prediction?
Oh, I don't think so off the top of my head. If you tell me more about it, I may recall something. But yeah.
So there was a lot of people. Let's say the November 3rd. Did I put it here? November 3. November hurricane. Okay, so yeah, this is okay, this was so there's supposed to be a false flag on a I think I typed it in Seattle. Where did I put it? Okay, but yeah, so there was supposed to be a false flag event, either a hurricane or a nuclear bomb, on a football game between Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Seattle Seahawks. And then all of the videos, and it was supposed to be November 3rd, 2019. And let's see. Okay, so here's a video. For example, this was a video in 2019, but all these are deleted now. Can you see this one right here? 11/3/2019. So they showed a lot of predictive programming for it. And does this ring a bell or no?
No, I didn't see this. No, this passed me by. Well, I passed it by.
Yeah. So these ones super viral. Like there's some German videos. A random German YouTuber started making them, and then with like broken English translating, and it kept going. So it was going really viral. Then people were setting up live streams, and I'll try to find it. I was going to do it later. I'll find it later. But so they're doing live streams on November 3rd, 2019, and then nothing happened. And then mainstream media did hit pieces mocking all the people predicting it. And now if you go back and try to find them, all of them are gone. Like if you go November 3, 2019, and false flag, predictive programming, almost all of them are gone. So they're all, if you go there, list of conspiracy theories, you're not going to see something. And besides this archive video, so there's one of the few videos remaining is this archive on the web. So September 3, 2019, predictive programming or coincidence, etc. All right. So the reason I'm bringing this up because recently there's a lot of people saying that there was though September 23 is predictive programming. Have you heard about that one? September 23.
Nope. Not heard of that.
Okay, we'll play a video shortly in that. But so anyway, it's going back to this one right here. So everyone was going viral on this, but nothing happened, and now all the videos are deleted. But then this was just before COVID, and then guess when COVID was declared a pandemic? 3/11, 2020.
Yes.
So so it's as if they were all getting everyone riled up, and then getting them all, and then all deleted all the videos. And all of a sudden, they actually started on 3/11. So the predictive programming was switched up instead of 11.3 to 3/11. All right, and then so there's another one. Predictive programming suggests November 3. Everything, yeah. Some of these are showing up. Okay, so that's good. And now there's a bunch of September 23 ones, but I think it's a bit out there for now. All right, so that's that one. And then, another one. This was actually from your video. I went over the Bruce De Palma versus Edgar Mitchell. So in my last live stream, I went over the Bruce De Palma's End Machine.
Okay.
And this is for the viewers there. Actually, before we get to that, Am just donated $5 in super chat. MES Live, love it. Keep spreading the truth to the world. Epic. And also there's Reality Access. I took a screen capture of the image. I came onto my phone and sent it to your email now, Matthew. Okay, so Richard. I'm in, so National Award. Okay, so here's the, we have it live right here. So Reality Access just sent me this. This is from the emergency broadcast, National Alert. This is a test of the National Wireless Emergency Alert System. The purpose is to maintain and improve alert and warning capabilities at the federal, state, local, tribal, and territorial levels, and to evaluate the nation's public alert and warning capabilities. No action is required by public. So Reality Access, did you turn into a zombie? all right, so that's one thing that we had. But yeah, so that's, thanks for that Reality Access. All right, so 3/11/20. Yeah, so another thing is 3/11/2011 was the Japanese Fukushima, the radioactive whatever.
Yeah, that was the 11th of March 2011, wasn't it? The Fukushima.
Yeah.
Disaster,
So 11. Yes, 3/11 is an interesting day. All right, so this was from your video, Infinite Energy, but not for the masses. And so I showed the clip where Bruce De Palma was saying that Edgar Mitchell was threatening to kill him if he keeps promoting the End Machine.
To help new age inventors bring free energy into the world.
And that situation still exists in the United States today, where a person really understands what's going on, just can't get their idea out.
I just want to get to the Edgar Mitchell one, and then I just want to show something quickly.
Yeah, we're not getting the audio on that, so...
you didn't hear the audio?
Not on that clip, no.
Okay, so it might be on the live stream then. Okay, that's an interesting one. Yeah, so
as long as it comes out on the live stream, that's the main thing, so you might want to check with those that are listening.
Yeah, so can you guys hear that audio, guys, on the chat? Because they can probably hear... Because, so I think...
okay.
Yes, I think they can. Okay, can you guys hear it? 9/11 Revisionist? Okay, so... Reality Access says I've a zombie for many years, or I've been a zombie for many years. All right, but yeah, you see, this was a clip you've had. So you saw the one where Bruce Palma was saying that he threatened him. So when I shared this in my last live stream, someone in the chat said no, he was trying to help him, saying he wouldn't get killed if he was working with him as opposed to on your own, etc. Then he kind of wouldn't stop. I said no, he's threatening. Okay, so you can hear the audio on the chat. Okay, so. You can hear it. Oh, there's the thing.
Wari was forced to abandon the project completely.
Just want to get to the thing.
One of the pivotal people that I encountered early in my career was Edgar Mitchell, the astronaut. Edgar J. Mitchell, an Apollo mission astronaut, founded the Noetics Institute in Southern California. The Institute's charter was supposedly to develop alternative energy systems by attracting inventors from all over the country. Mitchell became extremely interested in De Palma's End Machine. He made De Palma a paltry offer to buy out the invention, which De Palma naturally refused. He said to me that if I ever tried anything on my own in California, I would get my head blown off. So I was scared to death. The CIA operates.
All right, so I just wanted to show that clip. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so you know what I'm talking about, the one where he said Edgar Mitchell.
Oh yeah, I mean I've got a bit more information about that, and whoever made that comment, it's certainly possible to interpret what.
So I had to mute him. Sorry about that. I had to mute him because he just wouldn't stop, and then he started attacking me in the live chat.
So I mean, I see you've got the the information there, and that's here. I think I included the link somewhere, so I'm glad you found that. But not only that, you see, if you watch Bart Sibrel's film, A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Moon, and Astronauts Gone Wild.
Yeah, I've seen some of that.
You will see in that video that Edgar Mitchell's son comments. When Bart Sibrel is leaving, they think they're off camera and no mic. Bart Sibrel's son, I think he's called Adam, says, "Shall we call the CIA and have him waxed?" And that's on video. Yeah. And, they talk about shooting him as well. And then in another video, I've written all this up in another article. It's in my Secret Space Program book as well. In another video, the Secret Life of Uri Geller. Mitchell actually says, he was working for the CIA. He admits that in the 1970s he was working for the CIA. So you stack all those things together, and that maybe explains why your friend needed muting. Not your friend, but the chap needed muting because he was worried that Edgar Mitchell, who I think infiltrated the UFO movement to a degree, and sort of basically helped put some sort of disinformation into the UFO movement. That's what I think he was about. He was a CIA operative, like so many others are, and he comes across as this benign New Age type, having had this experience coming back from the moon, which I think was probably a result of mind control. If anything, it wasn't a real experience that he had. I wouldn't say, because they didn't have the technology to get to the moon, and that's pretty clear.
Mm-hmm. So I actually heard that. I remember now seeing that clip of Edgar Mitchell. I think him and his son just saying they want to get the guy waxed. I do remember seeing that as well. So that was very interesting. And saying that he was working for the CIA. That's actually, so when you go to the Bruce Homo's website, that's literally what he says. So this is when I saw it afterwards. After the live stream, I went and looked. I'm like, maybe he actually typed it in. So this is what Bruce Homo wrote on his website. So yes, I've been threatened for my life. The first threat came from Edgar Mitchell, the astronaut who told me that the government has said there was never any doubt that the end machine was the free energy machine they were looking for. And if I tried anything on my own in California, I would have my head blown off. And the CIA warned me via Mitchell that I should not leave the country because I would be kidnapped. This was back in 1980 when these efforts frightened me out of going to Hangover, Germany for Dr. Napier's first gravity field energy conference, which is where this guy was working, Tawari, brought his end machine in. So he literally has it in writing. Edgar Mitchell working with the CIA, trying to get him, basically threatening him to not leave the country. And speaking about you said the moon. So they didn't have technology for the moon. Well, I think. Publicly they don't, but I think privately, privately. So if there's no issues with space, they probably can go anywhere in the galaxy, or at least our solar system.
Well, some would say that. Yeah, I mean, again, I explore a little bit of that in the Secret Space Program book. Mm-hmm. And I tried to sort of distill the best evidence that I could find for that side of things.
Yeah, that's good. All right, and so let's continue further in our links here. So the next one is there's the real 9/11 Truth Movement. So this is for those who aren't aware. On Facebook, there's a real 9/11 Truth Movement. I think, do you manage this one, Andrew? Or
yeah, so we've got about I think 4 or 5 moderators on that. I didn't set that group up actually. Another guy set it up. I think Dr. Wood and I, we did a talk in Manchester. And if memory serves, and this was like 12 years ago now, I think this group's been running on. This chap, I think his first name's Mark, set this group up. I think he ended up not using Facebook, but he says, you can administer this group if you want. And it seemed to get quite a lot of members, but we do have a very, I enforce quite a strict, set of posting. It's got to relate to Dr. Judy Wood's research in some way. and really it is, forensic evidence that we're looking at. So aspects or videos closely related to that are what we allow in the group, and the other stuff basically will not be allowed in the group. So you've got to read the about description to know what this is about. We're not interested in debating whether thermite was used. The ethos behind this group is we know that directed energy weapons were used, and so two purposes really of this group. One is to, if anybody finds any new evidence that illuminates some things that we didn't know about the directed energy weapons, which can be related to 9/11, or it could, for example, be related to field effects, say, other evidence of field effects in another world event or something. That's the sort of thing that would go in. But we're not interested in speculating. We're not interested in arguing over whether it was thermite or whatever it was. We're not interested in people that think Judy Wood might be a shill, because that's been established that she isn't, and all of that. So anything like that, I don't allow. I think Julia is also a moderator. She's allowed some posts, which is fine, and it's not a dig at her, that I probably wouldn't have. But we do try and keep the content fairly. It's not a debating group really. It's one more for people learning. If you've got a serious question about some of the evidence and you don't understand what the significance is, or you're not familiar with it, or you want to find some more, you can post in here and ask a question or make some valid comments. If you find something that's wrong that we've posted, and you say, no, that's not right, this would be a place to point that out, providing that you can do that politely and coherently.
Yeah, no, that's great. Yeah, I think I did remember reading that once. That reading your about page, saying that it has to be has to be specific to it. But yeah, so it's great though. I think you had how many? You said 4,000 people.
About 4,000 members. Yeah, and then we do get occasionally. There seems to be a lot of sleeping members. And occasionally we'll just get somebody saying, "Oh, this Judy Wood doesn't know what she's talking about." And these have been members of this group for years. Matthew now deserves a special mention as well for his work in the US. He's been great, much like you, Matthew. You've been great in covering a lot of this evidence. He's a lovely chap. I've never met him, but he's actually one of the few people who has publicly eaten humble pie, so to speak. He's admitted. He sent me a long post years ago. He organised talks for David Ray Griffin, Richard Gage, Kevin Barrett, and then after several years of doing that, he actually read my 9/11 Finding the Truth book, and then he thought, oh, actually what Andrew's written casts new light on these people, and then he came out and he basically says, look, sorry guys, you're all liars. He didn't say that to their face, but he realised that he'd been had, and he had the the decency to realise that, and point out what his mistake, his own error, which is what I tried to do, because I was in error. I was in error, as I've said many times about I was taken in by Stephen E. Jones, and Matthew was another person like me. He said, oh, I was taken in by these guys, and now I realise that they're just scammers as bad as the mainstream media. So Matthew's great, and he's done such a lot of good work. Talking to people in the street and stuff, great guy.
Yeah, he is. And I actually posted some of his posts about David Ray Griffin, so he was working with him on tour, so you could read it. Posted on, so Telegram's usually where I go and post.
Okay.
As I research things, I just throw everything in my Telegram channel, just because it's easier to search and everything's right there. So this was a post he wrote. So this is Matthew Niles. He wrote, I remember during local TV. Yeah, so around, see this one. Yeah, so I'll read this comment he had. It's very interesting about David Ray Griffin. So I remember during local access TV show I did background early 2010, I had a caller ask my guest, David Ray Griffin, about the destruction of WTC 4, 5, and 6. David Ray Griffin answered the caller by saying he didn't research these buildings. Within a year, I realized he wasn't interested in Dr. Wood's research, which I found extremely disappointing, considering he wrote 10 books on 9/11. Right? So 10 books, and then he didn't research WTC 4, 5, and 6. I was his Midwest tour organizer in 2010, and shortly after that tour, I parted ways with him because of his lack of interest in Judy Wood's research. And so, yeah, so that's epic stuff.
Yeah, well, you know, he went even further than that as well, Matthew. I'll see if I can find a post on Check the Evidence, and I'll put it in the chat or something. But yeah,
I have one here, right here. I put another one as well. Yeah, I definitely think there's a lot more.
You may well have seen it already, but just in case, you know, if you haven't already got it there or something.
Well, I have this one. I don't know if I have anything else. You probably have a whole lot more info. But here's another one I'll read after David Ray died, actually. So Professor David Ray Griffin succumbed to his long battle with cancer and passed away on November 25th, 2022. So he says, I was his Midwest tour organizer back in 2010 for a 10-city tour. After the tour, I got very interested in Dr. Wood's new book and put out a lot of information on my website. At the time, Take a Stand for 9/11 Truth. David Ray Griffin had no interest in her research evidence and sent me an email asking to be deleted as a member of my website. This researcher wrote at least 10 books on 9/11, yet he wouldn't entertain new empirical evidence discovered by Dr. Judy Wood. My association with him ended. Here's a pic of David Ray Griffin with me holding many of his 9/11 books when he toured my hometown of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So yeah, and so this guy here, that is a pretty epic story. All right.
Yeah, I mean, I've got the let's see if I can I don't know if I can share the screen here.
Okay.
Let's see.
So yeah,
I've got the post. I put it in the chat there on the live stream.
Oh, do you put it? You put it in the chat? Well, you could email me or put it
live stream.
Oh, you
yeah,
put
I'll put it in. I can put it in this chat as well, can't I? In the Google chat here that we've got between us.
Yeah.
So you can bring that up on your screen if you want. It's probably easier for you to do that because I haven't found the screen share here yet.
Oh no, so. yeah. Don't worry. You can just send it here. So here's.
There you go. Yeah. So I particularly like that picture that Matthew took there. That was very good of him to do that picture there that you see. I thought it was great. And then you can just scroll down and see all the familiar faces in there. Really, you know, we call this the 9/11 half-truth movement or something. If you look at all the faces lower down, and Matthew's given a little commentary on each person. You know, and okay, you don't really like to have a dig at these people, but at the end of the day, you know, each of these people that are shown lower down that post, if you keep scrolling, you know, like Robert Bowman.
That was Richard Gage.
And Richard Gage, Fetzer and Jones, David Ray Griffin. I think it's the same picture you had. Alex Jones.
Oh wow.
You know, he Kevin Barrett. You know, he was doing the heroes pictures. You know. And
didn't realize that.
There you go. So he's got all those pictures, and he basically says, look, none of these guys, you know, would stand up for the truth. They would all, without exception, none of them, you know, without exception, they have just stuck to the bombs in the building story, you know, and all of that.
Yeah, but
shameful.
And what's interesting is, so he put this book, Alice in Wonderland and the World Trade Center Disaster, this David Icke one, and this one I got it from your book, actually. I think it was the Holding the Truth one. And
okay.
So this is actually part of the MES links right here. So David Icke may have been the first person, possibly at least publicly, state that in that book that the towers turn to dust. So this is published.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this is it. And that's right. I write about that in the Holding the Truth book, and it's almost like, you know, with David Icke, he was like first out of the door almost in the alternative media, the non-mainstream. So it's like early on. Like it happens with the mainstream, you know, a lot of the truth comes out in the first 24 hours or the first couple of hours after event, and then it gets covered up, you know, and then the new narrative gets put in place. And it's almost like that with David Icke. We started off talking about, as you see there, the building turned to dust and a beam weapon of some kind, and that was in his first book. And then he stopped talking about that, and he started talking about bombs in the building. Yeah,
and then he has a 7-hour. Well, this was part of his 7-hour presentation. Then he includes like a 10-second clip saying, "Oh, Building 7 explosives," and he puts some like red ink there. Yeah. So that actually is very telling because, assuming that this wasn't done on purpose for him to write about the dust. So I could read it here for the guests because I'm not sure if they've heard about this. So this is so I tweeted about this in 2017, and I got this actually from
9/11 Holding the Truth. Yeah.
So let's click here just so we get the full reference. So this is your book, and then Icke So whenever someone asks me about someone who I don't know, I first look at what they say by 9/11, and then if I don't find anything there, I look at what your book says about them. And I'll show you an example. Actually, today it just happened. So David Icke backtracks to 9/11. So yeah, he wrote. So you had to hear from his book and so on, and also talking about the building turning dust. So I'm gonna go read this part right here. So and I made a good Photoshop here with the book on the side and all the keywords highlighted. So basically, this is Alice in Wonderland and the World Trade Center disaster: why the official story of 9/11 is a monumental lie by David Icke, published in 2002. So pages, this is 365. So beam weapons. It is possible that charges were placed in the building at crucial points and exploded by remote control. But we should remember that the Illuminati are not working only with the technology we see in the public domain. They have access to their secret science and the development of weapons and other technology that is far in advance of anything we see. One example is the energy particle or, quote, beam weapon that fires an invisible laser or sound wave so powerful it can turn a building to dust. It has been noted by a number of observers that debris was turning to dust as it fell through the air, and not only when it struck the ground. The television evangelist Dr. Robert Schuller said after visiting the site, there was not a single block of concrete in that rubble. Some 425,000 cubic yards of concrete disintegrated, most of it into immense clouds of dust. And then, yeah, it almost seems like I'm reading Judy Wood's book. And then pages 366 to 367, an eyewitness to the collapse told the American Free Press that he stood 2 blocks away from the World Trade Center. He had seen a number of brief light sources being emitted from inside the building between floors 10 and 15. He saw about 6 of these brief flashes accompanied by a crackling sound immediately before the tower collapsed. This may or not be relevant, any of this part of the page. I just included that light source being emitted. The American Free Press interviewed a German physicist who believes a laser beam weapon could have caused the collapse of the Twin Towers using infrared technology that was first developed in the Soviet Union. The physicist, whom the American Free Press does not name, was described as a former East German physicist who studied Soviet infrared technology and plasmoids during the 1960s and 1970s, and was directly involved in a demonstration of a Soviet laser beam weapon for the U.S. Air Force in Weimar in 1991. He was quoted as saying, "There's evidence that a directed energy weapon," so he's literally quoting that, using deep infrared radiation was used to bring down the World Trade Center. He said that in 1991, the GRU demonstrated the U.S. Air Force Electronic Security Command, AFESC, the capabilities of its infrared beam weapon by reducing a ceramic plate to dust from a distance of 1 mile. He said the demonstration was designed to show the U.S. How a stealth bomber could be turned into dust in the same way. The plate had been turned into such fine dust, he said, that it was difficult to pick it up with a vacuum cleaner. The plate was not destroyed suddenly as if hit by a bullet. Rather, it disintegrated into a process taking about 15 minutes. And the physicist said that one of the transmitters involved in striking the World Trade Center with a beam weapon could have been located in a high building nearby or a satellite plane or ship. And then fast forward 2017, he's talking about bogus red text.
Yeah, so sort of footnote to that, Matthew. Yeah, I mean, it's good to read that again because he does seem to have a mixture of good and bad information in what you read, which is what I put in 9/11 Holding the Truth. Now, I met David Icke in 2008, and it was literally, I think, a few weeks after Dr. Judy Wood had posted the information about Hurricane Erin. So really, that was something of not exactly an end point in her research, but it was certainly in the latter stages. And I wasn't aware of Icke's words in that book. I hadn't read that book at that point. It was only later that I came to read those words. But he didn't put the two things together, as you can see. You can just look at those two books.
Yeah, for sure. Because he includes a whole bunch of speculations and stuff like that. But the key part is you're saying towers turn to dust because so when I first woke up to 9/11, so basically for me it was just the official story the whole time, and I never even looked at it, and I thought it was too smart to look at it because I was doing engineering, and then once I woke up at Pizzagate in 2017, and then I started looking at the Madeline McCann videos by Richard Hall, and then I thought his documentaries were really good, like probably the best I've seen. So then I started watching all of his videos from start to finish in 2017, and then I came across one of the videos. I think either you were in it, and then I think it was you were in that video with him, and then you guys just show a front and back cover of Judy Wood's book where the towers go. So then I'm like, what do you mean where the towers go? and then just from there I looked at him, all right, So it was right away I just knew she's right. So probably within a few seconds, and then I spent like probably a week just trying to debunk if those are real. Like I wanted to know if those images were real, like the let's say Judy Wood book. I just wanted to know if the images were real, and if they were real, then the towers turned to dust. If they were, because I could not believe, like for example, just this image right here, and then I tweeted about it. Math easy, irrefutable. So I think I tweeted before I made any videos. So these are the ones I wanted. This is June 22nd, 2017. So I wanted to know if these images were real, and then I realized, all right, these are all real. And then this image here, there's this like literally ground level, like even below the water level. And I'm like, where's the towers? And like this one's undamaged, and now there's a big hole in there. All right, so that kind of that was the biggest shock I think I've ever experienced. Like, what in the world's going on?
Sure. Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you went and checked. Because
yeah,
some people don't bother doing that.
And then I get a lot of comments now saying, oh, the reason there's a little rubble is because the buildings are mostly air. I'm like, no, the buildings are mostly building. Like
yeah, it's a common one. Or buildings went in the basements.
Oh yeah, the basement.
That's one as well. Yeah.
In my live stream, I actually went over like dozens of comments of people saying basement. Like I get like, and then people like hating on me. So if I go on my Telegram.
Yeah.
So this guy says you forgot the basement and parking decks underground, and I just put the same link to a 9/11 revisionist article saying they were barely damaged, and even if they went in the basement's only 70 feet to bedrock. Like
right,
the towers are 208 feet wide. So let's go back to that image. Actually, I think I had it. Where's that image? I tweeted it just now. I just want to go back to that image quickly. Okay, this image. So even when they say basement. The basement is going to be right where my mouse is. Like,
sure.
So even if it fills, it doesn't do anything. All right, so that was one thing. And let's just continue going further. So then the next one is actually Reality Access. Have you had a chance to see my latest video and the original?
Yeah, I did. I didn't know about what you'd written, so I was quite interested that you'd posted that. Because Richard Chin wrote to me, it must have been at least a year ago, but I didn't realize he'd done this video for a 9/11, and I was curious to know where you'd found out about that argument, where you said that you found out in 2010. Was that on his YouTube channel, and where he
Oh no, he emails me as well. So he's actually sending me all of his files.
Oh, okay.
So he emailed me. I think he also emailed Judy Wood and you. And then
okay.
So I've been in contact with him, and some of the editing of the video, when I edited it, I first gave it to him to see if it's all right, and he gave me some points to update and so on.
Oh, okay. Oh, great.
Yeah, and also gave me information about his father and so on. So his father passed 2 years away, 2 years after that, the 9/11 video, and but yeah, so 4 months before the video was uploaded. So that's when they realized, oh right, okay, it's all. They realized that A 9/11 Truth was covering up Judy Wood's work, and so he was working for like video production for Richard Gage and so on. And then when they did the video, they wouldn't upload it unless they added the word collapse and so on. And yeah, so they had to add the word collapse in the timer, and then include the A 9/11 Truth call for a new investigation and so on. So then, so if you've seen both videos where I removed everything.
Yeah, it's great.
So, and I got this all from, this one right here from your post on last week. You posted about it, then you posted the military alert. So when I posted it and I looked at it, so this is the Senior Intelligence, Law Enforcement and Government Officials Question 9/11 Commission Report, SOS. So I looked at Shen. So Major Reginald Shen, he was a bombardier in World War II. And then, so then I looked at it, then I saw the video. I think this was the video. So in there has the video, let me know if you see fire. So I saw it, I'm like, this is actually pretty remarkable. This is 11 minutes until the tower comes down. And they're all in there as if everything's fine. So there was no indication that there was any fires, or especially not the building is going to just disappear.
Yeah, I mean, that was a good point that you put in there, that the people were running around inside until just before the main disappearance. So whatever was going on, there were parts of the building which were still, not affected enough, and the people were still walking around doing stuff. So that sort of gives you a bit of information as to what was happening with the destruction, inside.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they were also asking, "Let me know when you see fire." It's like in a building fire. Is that a question that's ever asked?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this raging inferno that's supposed to have weakened all the steel. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and also Richard, Reality Access. So he emailed me saying that the video here, it cuts off at the 2-minute mark. He said that the Freedom of Information request, they finally were able to release this, but then they cut off I'm pretty sure they either cut off the last 2 minutes.
I wonder what went on there then. I wonder what happened in the last 2 minutes.
Yeah, so that's the thing. They might have cut off the last 2 minutes, or it was something with the just radio broadcast wasn't shown, because but he thinks that it was deleted by them, and because there was also another footage of another person, I forgot the name that he sent, but they were yelling, and then just before the tower goes away, and then it cuts off mid yell. So the radio was still working, and then it just disappears. So this was this one, and then I uploaded the updated one just for the people in here, and I think it's one of the better versions. So basically, I have right now 2 9/11 playlists that I'm working on. One of them is the 9/11 Truth video series, the one that I just started off with. And usually, whenever something is really next level information, I'll put it on this one. And then the other ones, if they're either part of the 9/11 observable evidence. So have you seen my dubbed videos or no on this?
No, I haven't, Matthew.
All right, so these are the ones that are starting to go viral. So
great.
So this is, let's see, where's the? Oh, I didn't put the link there. Okay, I'm just gonna go on observable. But yeah, I just want to show other people here that are following. So this part right here. So this entire time that this was fuming, firefighters inside were saying they don't see any fires or barely any. So then the question is, what is this stuff that's being seen out on the outside? So this is, do you remember the 9/11 observable evidence? So you were sent, this is the anonymous documentary that you were sent?
Correct.
Yeah, so this one you sent. So I saw it and I thought it was quite remarkable. And then earlier this year, I started dubbing over the videos because there's a lot of quiet text parts. So then I started dubbing over them, and then they all just went very viral, especially the Stairwell B survivor. So this one, 38,000 views, more than the original video. And so, and then this is where I get, so it went pretty viral, and also a lot of mainstream people on YouTube just were attacking me for it. So yeah, so that, and then if you see it, yeah, if you have a chance, you can have a look at them. But I dub over them, and so I speak over them and just make it more easy to follow, because these other ones is a bit hard to follow with the quiet text and small and so on. Yeah.
Well, that's great that you've taken the time to do that, because I think these different versions will work better for different people. So I think if you've added a voiceover, that's great. Yeah.
Yeah, especially the Stairwell B survivors. This one is quite remarkable. They're literally.
I mean, that's one I think because it's such a human story, which of course the media feeds off. Yeah. So if you people are drawn into that human story of survival, then they can now see that they should not have survived, and it wasn't. Yeah, it was a miracle, but it was a miracle that you can understand parts of and involve technology as well as perhaps, something else making them survive as well, like a real miracle.
Yeah, well, it's a miracle in the sense that they were in the right place at the right time, but not a miracle in the sense that nothing crushed them, because that's just
yes, exactly so. Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of like falling off a building and you survive. Yeah, that's like that's a real miracle. This one is nothing was actually fell on top of them. So that was the epic stuff there. All right, and yes, I wanted to show that. So the dubbing's there, and I also included so the playlist. I have 2 playlists: the 9/11 Truths video series. And then whenever I have other ones that are just out of order or whatever, I put them in the observable evidence. So for example, your anniversary verse, I put it up here. And what I also did was, so I upscaled it to 1080p. So made sure everything.
Right. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. So everything up there. And I couldn't actually find the footage that you were. I didn't want to look for the footage that you had, so I just put my own.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I mean, I just used some stuff that I got from somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's a really good clip as well. Yeah, that you got there.
Yeah, this one here is like this is the first time I saw it was actually like a few weeks ago. And not the spire itself, but these parts right here, these three columns. Can you see them just turn to dust?
Yeah,
Yeah, those ones are turned to dust before this one. So that was I had no idea about that one.
Yeah. It's all part of the same event, but that's a much sort of closer view with high resolution. Yeah,
yeah,
so
and then this one just goes down. It's all right. So let's continue in our push. So this is the finding and holding the truth, and yeah. So this is I wrote an article with your two books there, and
great.
What else did so like I said, I always double check. So this one. Yeah, so this is actually Alan Forrest, the art graphican. So you probably email him. So he emails me a lot, and he asked about Rosalie Grabel, and so then he asked whether just about her. So then what I do always is I go and look in your book. So I look in your book. What do they say? And then just because it saves some time.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I did receive a few emails from Rosalie a few times. We did chat.
Yeah.
And she was very, she did quite a bit of the early research, and that was somewhat instrumental in my own awakening as well. So I think she was starting to be on the case pretty much out of the gate. Late 2001, early 2002. I don't know quite what her history is, but she does have a little bit of a checkered history, and she was a bit of an eccentric herself, I think, and she wanted to be buried on this island, which was a prison colony or something. You can read about this in her obituary somewhere. So she was she was an unusual character, to say the least, but she. I think kind of blotted her copybook because she started talking about antimatter weapons.
Yeah.
When Dr. Judy had sort of nailed a lot of things down, Rosalie didn't. It's like Rosalie was kind of jealous that Dr. Judy had solved parts of 9/11 that she wasn't able to do. That might be me. That's not what Dr. Judy said. That's just my interpretation of. From memory, how Rosalie was behaving, and she can be seen. There is a video of the Madison conference in 2007. It's either in the Morgan Reynolds video from that conference or from Dr. Judy's new Hiroshima video. You can see Rosalie Grable at the end of that. I think that's one of the few videos of her, and she comes and asks some questions at the end and makes some comments and stuff.
Okay, yeah, because I was sent this video by her. So I was surprised that she was talking about Hutchison and cold fusion early on, but then she does bring up the no planes and some like as if
right video she did, yeah.
And then the host, if you watch it, the host that's when the host was turned off. He's like, all right, the video faker is a bit too hard to believe everyone would just go and suddenly.
I think it was Rosalie actually she did start talking about Hutchison. But I think that was after Dr. Judy brought it. But I think it might have even been Rosalie who found out that Jones was working in cold fusion. It might have been Rosalie that, now that you mentioned that actually first posted that information and made me aware of it. It was something like that.
Yeah, possibly.
So anyway,
so she mentions it in this one, this date right here, 2008, and she calls the Jonesies, the Alex Jones, Stephen Jones,
the Jones brothers, yeah.
Yeah, the Jonas the Jones brothers. That's a good one. Yeah, but surprisingly, all of her websites are just gone. But then she has a harp weapon. So that was interesting. So
so she had some interesting stuff, and she had her website didn't last long. I mean, you can probably obviously scrape it from the webarchive.org. I think most of it be reserved there. But her website. She died, I think, must be nearly 10 years ago now.
Okay. Yeah, so that's interesting.
Within the last 10 years, I think maybe.
Yeah. And so that's the thing. But the website's deleting. It's not enough just to speak about the truth. You also make sure it's preserved for as long as possible.
Yes.
And that's why I updated your your anniversary song one, 9/11 Observable.
Sure.
Just because it needs to be observable documentary.
Yeah, well, I mean that verse was written by Evan Denton, who's he's done some great work in Australia as well with just talking about Dr. Judy Wood's book.
Yeah, no, it's a great verse, and especially my channel's like growing, so basically anything I share is getting a lot of views now. So basically,
Brilliant. Yeah, he wrote he did a cracking job on that, and he's not a lyricist. He's an engineer, and he started talking about 9/11 in a gamers group, in a video game group. So he came over to the UK in it was about 5 years ago, I think, and he came to meet Richard D. Hall and me, and he came with his wife and his daughter. It was great to meet him, and we went out, and he came here, I met him quite fairly locally. So yeah, great guy.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. Yeah, so I just had this video playing. This is one of the video. If you've seen my 45 times speed videos, like, this is how I. This is the one of the videos where I just kind of like to the point where if anyone can't see what this is, I just don't know what to say.
Yeah, exactly.
Like what is it? This is
yeah,
and it's just gone. And now you have this thick dust going everywhere. All right, and let's continue. So it's been. Let's see the live stream stats. We have 37 people now, 28 likes, and we have $5.24 revenue. Unreal. Okay.
Very good.
Yeah, and then someone says, yeah, Judy Wood's an angel. That's for sure. This video is really bizarre. I never noticed it until now. I think she's talking about, is that the firefighter, Susie, you're talking about? The firefighters or the 3 columns turning dust? And then the fireman who just walked away from it all, and so on. All right. There's a lot of comments. All right, so the next setup here, and yeah, so we've gone through almost an hour. Where's the time? All right.
Yeah, about an hour, just about 8:56. So here in the UK.
Okay. So we'll see how much longer we go and how much longer you can go on for. But
yeah, I'm good for a while. Yeah.
All right, sounds good. That is good. So that was the book Holding the Truth and the other one, and then I showed the David Icke one, Rosalie Grabel, and then so the next one is the Star Child one that you were talking. I've seen a lot of your videos and Lloyd Pye's ones. And then we'll compare it with the Mexican. So before we get to that one, I think there's a good. I'm just gonna go on the Telegram. There's no noise in this one, but this is good. Alien. Let's see. What this is? Where's the? Yeah, this one here. This is a good video. I'll play the sound for I'll play the sound for the viewers.
Okay.
It's just the music. Unmute tab. So this one says, me, the alien deception is going to be next level holograms, crazy tech, and then now this is what we're actually seeing. All right. So that's the alien invasion that we were promised. Have you had a chance to research that or no? The Mexican one.
No, I haven't really. Well, I've seen a couple of pictures, but I hadn't studied this recent one. And there was another one a few years ago now, whereby it was a picture of it was a picture of an alien in a cabinet, and it actually turned out to be a human fetus. And Richard Dolan, who's a very prominent UFO researcher, got a little bit burnt by that because there was a big media sort of storm about it, and I think there was some money exchanged and stuff. But that turned out to be a hoax.
Yeah.
The Star Child skull, very, very important piece of evidence, and there's a whole sort of 20-year story behind that now. So that's the primary source really, and Lloyd Pye's videos. And if those listening, those that have not heard of this before, I think if they've followed the research of Dr. Judy Wood and they look at the way Dr. Judy talks and the way she presents information, she's a very down-to-earth sort of presenter, uses down-to-earth language, and they will probably see many similarities with Lloyd Pye, although Lloyd Pye did, he wasn't a scientist, and he's criticised for not being a scientist. He had a sports scholarship, but he did develop in his amateur studies, a good knowledge of human anatomy stuff that I didn't know, and that's what he applied to the study of the Star Child. And I got to know Lloyd. I spent quite a bit of time with Dr. Judy. I spent time with Lloyd when he was alive. He stayed at my house, so I got to know him very well. And he's just a down-to-earth, ordinary guy, and it really helps when you know somebody as well as knowing the evidence, and the Star Child evidence is pretty rock solid, and I think that that is confirmed by what happened after his death, and I've written that up in an article, and that was what that video you first showed with that sort of sphere with the things floating down the sphere. What I've been doing recently to explain how you got that video up and why I uploaded it today is on my website. I've been selling DVDs for about 18 years of all this stuff. Star Child, 9/11, 9/11 observable evidence, 7/7 stuff, Madeleine McCann stuff. I've been doing that for 18 years now. Of course, DVDs are sort of everyone's going to online and streaming stuff. So I've now been compiling all the DVDs into a format where I can put them onto memory sticks, memory cards, whatever. So if people want to get them without downloading them off the web, they can get them on that. And so I wanted a copy of that video, which was filmed in 2017. And so the guy that had put that on his channel, he'd made it private. I don't know why. And I said, "Oh, could you make it public again so I can download it? And can I put it on my channel?" And he said, "Yeah, sure." And so he let me download it. And it's a professionally shot video. The audio is good. The video is good, and when you're, a lot of these videos, as are just not very good quality, or they're shot in a community hall with not very good sound. It's useful that we've got some good quality videos of the material on hand, to present to people. So this video really is a total rip-off of Lloyd Pye's research, but there is an addendum to it, which is what took place after his death, and that's quite important because it mirrors the kind of thing that's been happening with Dr. Judy Wood's research, and it even involves this Mel Fabregas character who set up this Veritas show, and he even hosted Dr. Judy Wood several times. So Mel Fabregas has blotted his copybook in relation to what he did with the Star Child Skull owner, Melanie Young, which was a very sad kind of end to me to the Star Child Skull research. It's not really going to go anywhere. So people can read the details of that.
Okay, yeah, I'm just going to that page right now, and this is that person that the original link is unlisted. I saw from your description.
Yes. So I suggested they do that. I mean, whatever. I don't know why they didn't want to make it public. I'm not sure. That's up to them. But I put it on. It's possibly because it's got a copyright claim. And actually, when I uploaded it to my YouTube channel, it came up with a copyright claim, but it was a non. It was one which wasn't damaging. It didn't give me a strike or anything. It said, I think it's to a UFO Hunters episode or something that was aired in 2009 or something. Yeah. But you can if you got that article up, I think, didn't you? You got I saw you just flashed it up on the screen.
Can you see it right now? The Melanie.
If you go into the description that you've got up there, no, not that Sarah Arden one. My version of the video. If you go onto my version of the video.
Yes. Then you had this one. I think back here. I had to go back.
Yeah, you might.
Star Child keeping the record straight.
Yeah. So I've got all that in there. I've got the story of the Star Child Skull in brief, and then I've got Mel Fabregas' involvement. I've got audios linked in there. Yeah, that's. Of course, what I like to do is get the audios of people saying things, so that people and link those in, so people know that I'm not just blowing smoke. If I've got the audios, I used to have this saying, MP3 is your friend, because in the early 2000s, we started getting widespread use of MP3, which was great. So I could store all these recordings of all these people like Fetzer or whatever it was saying stuff, and that's what I continue to do, so that I've got these people saying this stuff on the record.
No, yeah, that's great. But I was surprised actually. Mel Fabregas, I didn't know, because he had Judy Wood on.
Yeah,
and
many times. In fact, I think she was on this anniversary just gone, a few weeks ago. And I told Dr. Judy about this, and I'm not trying to criticize her. But Mel Fabregas, well, he's just another one. You know, I mean, I've written it all up in here, so I suggest people read that if they're interested.
And I just noted right here, perhaps things began to change for Mel Fabregas around the time he began to entertain the idea of a flat Earth.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the video's gone. Yeah, so
he's probably deleted it now. You see, so.
Yeah, the flat Earth one is interesting. Even Stu Peters. So before he got you were on his show. Yeah. So on my on Telegram, I posted a whole bunch of Stu Peters because I think he spreads a lot of disinfo. I don't know, either willingly or unwillingly. Even in his
Again, you know, I was grateful for the opportunity to be on his program, and you know, it was kind of strange because I just got contacted by his producer. Originally, a contact came through Diane West, but then the producer of Stu Peters contacted me and says, "Can I go on the show?" And I says, "Yeah," you know, and I kind of didn't. I went into it blind, and originally they were only going to give me 15 minutes, and I said, "Well, that's a bit short," and said, "Okay, we'll give you 30."
Mm-hmm.
And I went on and I did a few slides. You know, you can watch it. You've got it linked, haven't you, on your list, I think. And then what I didn't know was he was going to have those two other guys on after me. The guy was called Buzz Patterson, who was this is just crazy. He was that former Clinton military aide, you know. And I'm thinking, what's going on? You know, I'm just some guy with a website, you know, and just posting stuff about 9/11, you know, and then I get on the same program. There's a Clinton military aide, and it's just clown world, really, to me, that is. And they're just backing up the official story, basically, maybe just for the odd question here and there. And then this other guy, so it's all pretty crazy, yeah. It died suddenly, yeah. That's what Stu Peters, yeah.
Yeah. So the reason I wanted to bring it up, so the first thing, because I was asked early on when Stu Peters was going viral with his died suddenly. And then, so his promo video, they included like several, the people that falling that were before the vaccine. So this is died suddenly trailer. This one right here was actually December 12, 2020, and the person didn't die. He returned after 2 years. So then he returned.
Okay, yeah.
So this is a trailer for like a high money production video, like, and then you have the mainstream just laughing at it. Basketball player highlighted by anti-vax died suddenly. So he's one of those who just posts a bunch of stuff, but I am surprised about the Judy Wood stuff, that he was still able to get you on there, and not just
absolutely, yeah. I mean, me too. And so that's a great bit of research there. You know, I think I did watch some of that died suddenly, but by the time that came out, I was kind of saturated with all of that, so I didn't study it to that level. You know, so it's good that somebody's picked that up, and it does make you wonder, like you said, whether that was that Stu Peters who put that clip in, or one of his team. You know, you just don't know. You know. Yeah,
that's the thing. But he has his name on for example, even on his Twitter, he probably has his team doing it. But another Revisited says, I think Stu tried to show how full of bull the two guests are that went after Andrew. Okay, possibly. Yeah, it's just now that Revisionist has given Stu some leeway. You know, yeah, for sure. Like if he gets you on there, even if he said this info before, he still puts in some like epic info. So. But he still mixes in. For example, on his Twitter, he posts this one. He's saying there's a photo of John Podesta. That's not John Podesta. it's a fake photo.
No, it doesn't look like him, does it?
Yeah, but it looks like him. But it's believable. That's the thing. But it's not. This is an old photo. It's not. There's another one, and then he's talking about flat Earth, as usual, and he's saying that the entire Ukraine war is actually CGI.
I've heard the same claim as well. Yeah, it's something I haven't really investigated. Yeah.
Well, not just CGI. He has. He says they put posters over buildings to make them look like they're damaged or something like that.
Right. Okay.
And just goes. I have like a whole list on my. Telegram.
Okay.
And then he says, "Why can't NASA break through the firmament anymore?"
Okay. Yeah, this firmament's a very dodgy term. Yeah.
But what is this? It's just a photo. Yeah, and all right, and then Jimmy Dore was on Stu Peters as well. But yeah, so overall, it's kind of like a Seinfeld episode.
Yeah, everything becomes like a jumble and muddle up. That's what tends to happen.
Yeah, and another one is there was. So he was saying the NHL was scripted because there was the goal signal went on before they scored. So then now he's saying a hockey game was controlled. So I think he's just a bit much. All right, so we have that. All right, so we have, we went over the Star Child stuff there. There's some other links. Okay, this one here. But yeah, it's too bad you can't hear audio. I don't know how to get it on for you to play it. But what you could do is maybe you could put your, but then it was gonna record your video. Actually, I think it's recording your microphone. So what you could do is you could probably play. Can you play the live stream right now on your device? And then we'll see if we can hear what you're playing. There shouldn't be any setup here. Also, I'll read some comments here. Are you frozen? I think you left the meeting. So Andrew left the meeting or got frozen. All right. So where's Andrew? All right. So it's just me right now. Okay. Andrew's gone. I've noticed an attempt to connect Flat Earth with Judy Wood's claims. Yeah, that is true. That Eric Dubé guy. He's like the original one of the original Flat Earth people, and then he was also talking about Judy Wood as well for a brief period. So Reality Access says Mickey Cross was the survivor of the North Tower's disintegration. He said on videotape, maybe someday some engineer will be able to explain what happened because I have no idea why that happened. All right, if you can send me that clip, actually, that would have been epic. All right, so I'm getting a message. Oh, just rebooting PC. Okay, best wishes. So Andrew Johnson's restarting his computer. Oh, we have he's been hit by a directed energy weapon. Okay. Yeah. All right. So Andrew Johnson's been hit by a directed energy weapon, and while we're on there, let's go. I remember that September 23rd stuff. September 23rd, legendary podcaster. All right. And so yeah, going back, I'm gonna play this video by Steve Eyes. This is actually my cousin. Eyes watch. All right.
All of these other protests seem to be popping up on September 23rd. Shout out to MES for putting this one.
And then the reason I'm bringing this up is so nothing happened last week on September 23rd, or was it 2 weeks ago? But the thing is, like I said about the November 3. Something might be related to September 23rd.
Together, let me go over this one. September 23rd, people. Worldwide Rally for Freedom. Vancouver, September 23rd at the Art Gallery. France, anti-racism groups plan protest nationwide September 23rd. Another one, taxi drivers plan to strike in France September 23rd during the Pope's visit. Germany, education groups plan nationwide protest September 23rd. Another one right here. In downtown Boston on September 23rd, power of protest to provide a weekend of free music and arts in downtown Boston September 23. September 23 right here. We will strike for climate reparations and justice for the... Wait, what does this say? This is hilarious. For that global climate strike, as we demanded policymakers and world leaders to prioritize people, not profit. Okay, so we got a climate strike incoming too. So many protests popping up on September 23rd. And also I seen a video lately someone put together about the significance of the date, September 23rd, and the amount of predictions going on about this date right here. Let me check this out.
In the TV show Big Bang Theory, an asteroid strike is expected September 23rd. In the movie Seeking a Friend for the End of the World, an asteroid strikes September 23rd. Julia, a meteor strikes September 23rd. Knowing, solar flare strikes September 22nd, lasting until September 23rd. Little Shop of Horrors, humans are threatened by an event, September 23rd.
That's interesting.
Tomorrowland, disaster strikes September 23rd. 23, hell will arrive September 23rd. Sleepy Hollow, a dimension opens up September 23rd.
Wow.
Ghostbusters, evil is released on September 23rd. This is...
All right. So we had that video there. There's a bunch of September 23rd stuff. And now Andrew Johnson is in the show. Can you hear me? Andrew's back.
I can hear you. My PC just blue screened on me, so...
Okay, no worries. So 9
yeah, there's some video problem I've got on the video driver. It just blue screens about once every few hours or something when I'm doing something like Zoom or Skype. It's something to do with Windows drivers or something. Anyway, here we are. Who cares?
Yeah, no worries. So 9/11 Revisited just commented, says it happens often to Andrew when he's on live feeds. Also happened to him while you're on the Stu Peters show. So your computer froze during.
It did, yeah.
All right, yeah. So I told the people watching that you were attacked by a directed energy weapon.
Nah.
All right, and
Yeah, I'm better now.
all right. So I was playing this one. So what I was asking is
Good joke.
to see if it's possible if you could play if you can unmute the live stream, like on the live stream, my live stream, and to see if it plays. I don't think it will be recorded on us, so you wouldn't get an infinite loop. So you could.
Okay.
Can you? Is it? Are you unmuting it?
Yeah, I can listen now.
Is the end. 9/23 is the date.
Yeah,
the
it's
rapture.
playing now.
Yeah. So that's the thing you can play. So what I was showing is a bunch of September 23rd predictive programming here, and also I'll play this here.
Pandemic. Outbreak starts September 23rd. Either fake aliens, fake Carrington event, or fake asteroid, September 2023.
That's interesting.
And this is actually my cousin. His channel is a big BitChute channel. I'm trying to get him on the show as well.
And my cousin also got an email. He was telling me some guy sent him an email about Trump and his fake assassination attempt. Apparently, someone's saying it's going to happen September 23rd in 2024, though.
Yeah. All right. So I got an email from Rebel Without a Cause. He's the guy that actually commented saying he doesn't like you.
Oh, he doesn't like me.
He's
oh,
the-
well.
No, he's the one that
I
commented.
wasn't.
It didn't
Why
explain.
doesn't he like me then? Am I too smug or something?
Well, he didn't explain why he didn't like you. If you saw the
Okay.
comments, but this is the guy that predicted that Trump's. So before any of the September 23rd stuff, he predicted Trump's getting a fake assassination next year on September 23rd, and then he'll rise again after 3 days. Yeah. Well, what's interesting though is in October, in U.S. elections, there's a thing called October surprise. They're usually a random surprise that happens. So the last, the 2016, I think it was the last election. Yeah, the last election, the October surprise was Trump testing positive for COVID. Then he goes to a hospital and on Friday, and then gets better on Sunday. So mimicking the Jesus.
Interesting
yeah.
interpretation. Yeah.
Yeah, and now he's getting persecuted. Well, that's why I made a Trump. Have you seen my Trump? Have you known that I made a 3-hour Trump video?
No, I didn't, Matthew. Actually, I haven't followed that. I've mainly followed your 9/11 stuff for now and again.
So the Trump video.
Okay.
So I made a strange coincidence involving Trump's birthday. This might be good for you to catch up. I made a 3-hour long video.
I'll try and give that a watch, definitely. Now, if I may I just say that Wolf Clan Media, Chris Hampton, he also made a video about Trump, and I've been racking my brains to remember the name of it. It begins with a P, and I couldn't find it when I looked for it.
Because his channel's all like pretty much gone. But it was something about COVID or something about.
No, it's about Trump, and he plays this clip of Trump and Hillary Clinton.
They're laughing.
Giving us jokes.
Yeah, where they're laughing. Is that the one?
And it's something like
I forgot what it was.
Patriot Pride or something like that. It isn't that, but I can't remember the name of it. I should write to him and ask him where the link is.
Yeah, I'm trying to message him, but I think he's trying to stay low.
Not that one.
So I'm going to click on his Patreon. Might be the only one remaining. Actually, this is my Patreon. I have 3 members on Patreon. All right. So I know the video you're talking about, but I think Coronagate.
Okay.
I think it might have been Coronagate. It might have been this.
No, it wasn't that one. It wasn't that one. That's
was a
got
different
Trump
one,
in it, but he did another one.
Okay, but we can find it from here, I think. Okay, so this is
maybe.
So this is where we could find it. So it's on the. We gotta find something Trump. I'm just gonna go Trump, but I do know which one you're talking about. The Purge.
Yeah.
The Purge.
Purge, that's it. That's the one. You got it. Thank you.
Yeah. So he's still getting it from an angle. Then I actually had I talked to him on Skype or actually on his own streaming thing several months ago, before he kind of went dark. And he was surprised. He was blown away by the Trump stuff I was telling him, because he was looking at some of the Jack Parsons. Like, Jack Parsons from the NASA Pioneer. And
yeah. Not personally, of course. But
well, you know about him. Yeah, you heard about that they were doing some weird rituals in 1940.
Oh yeah, and he was a big Crowley fan as well.
Yeah, so that's where it kind of gets like a bit out there. So, and also they had the L. Ron Hubbard.
Okay. Yeah,
so
he's connected into it, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, so L. Ron Hubbard and Jack Parsons, they were doing these weird sex magic rituals.
Yep. I heard that. Yep.
So I recommend not looking into what they're doing, because it's so disturbing. But anyways.
Mad, isn't it? Yeah, and there's a lot of stuff like that. I mean,
yeah.
some of the stuff that came out in Eyes Wide Shut the Kubrick film and the timing of the release of that's all
Yeah.
got some weird stuff in
Yeah.
it, and yeah.
Okay, so back to the Trump one. Yeah, so that was in 1946. That was Trump's birth year, and
Okay.
and then Aleister Crowley writes. So they were trying to produce a moon child, a supposed super being impregnated from the goddess Babylon, and then it's going to help or save humanity. And my video, I have Trump. I think he's the moon child, and then Aleister Crowley.
Wow.
Aleister Crowley writes a letter to them, mentions Moonchild, and he writes it on Trump's birthday, June 14, 1946. And that birthday was on a blood moon. But anyway, so this is a lot of it is pretty out there.
I bet it sounds like it. Yeah, I mean, let me just say again. I don't want to interrupt your flow too much, but there's a chap that I know very well called Brendan, and he sent me a link to a whole blog series, and he's convinced that Trump is, a good guy, and he's got this continuity of government plan already in place, and all this talk by Trump of meeting with 200 military guys, when he came to office, was all part of it, And I watched the QAnon stuff and with interest, and I think my only I'll just say my bit really very briefly, but my only problem was that a lot of these dates, like you said, that Trump was going to win the election, and then he didn't, and then they were going to overturn the results, and then it wasn't overturned, and that happened in two stages, one with the electoral vote and blah blah blah. But I know there's some very weird stuff has gone on, so I'm still sort of hoping that what you're, I think, alluding to here is correct. That he is.
Oh no, that's not what I'm alluding to. I'm alluding to.
Go on then.
No, QAnon's they're all just psyops. Even Trump's just a puppet.
Okay.
No, Trump's a puppet. No, the reason I'm talking about Trump, I think he is like a individual 9/11. So like you know how like you can tell someone just tell someone the word 9/11, they know what you're talking about. You can tell about Trump, anyone in the world, any language, they'll know what he's talking about. So Trump is like a psyop where all the focus is on him.
Okay, all right.
And QAnon is part of the thing to make it seem like he's a hero. So and he's also following very similar Hitler predicted programming. So my view is Trump is gonna win again, have a moment of peace, and then eventually start World War III. So that's the gist of it.
All right.
So going back to going back to some of the stuff. So the dates of it. One of the most interesting one is so U.S. is the closest that the world has gotten to a world government was actually on Trump's birthday. There's a thing called the Baruch Plan. So
Never heard of that. Okay.
So the U.S. So Hitler supposedly died in 1945. The wars ended, and then the next year, June 14th, 1946. Trump's birthday on a blood moon, which is pretty rare. They have the U.S. sends their representative to the UN, and the UN is inside Manhattan, and they have Trump World Towers right beside it. Anyway, so they sent their representative to the UN and proposed a world government where the UN controls all nuclear weapons. And this was on 1946. So this was the closest time for a world government, but then Russia said no because they feared U.S. monopoly, and the UN had veto power over, or no country had any veto on the nuclear weapons. So basically, UN was going to control everything. This is on Trump's birthday, and then so that was one coincidence, and then the other one is Roswell. So this goes to the interesting part with the whole UFO psyop as well. Like when I mean psyop, I mean like Project Bluebeam setup.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
So then Roswell. So let's say, when do you think Roswell was started? The Roswell incident.
Well, it was 1947 was the date, the official date given, and I think it was June the 5th or late June was when the crash was supposed to take place.
Well, yeah, but the witness was June 14th. So Roswell incident is also, it was also near Corona. It's closer to Corona, so it should have been called the Corona incident.
Correct.
But Roswell's more famous as the Roswell military site. So it was on June 14th, 1947, is when the person found it. And you could go here, the person, farmer Mac Brazel, notices the strange wreckage on Trump's birthday. All right, so this seems like okay. It's just a coincidence, right? Trump's birthday a year after.
There's also let me interject another thing which we've learned to. If you look, I can dig this out for you if you haven't already seen it. There is an interesting article by a chap who died called David Flynn, and it's called an occult interpretation of the Roswell incident. And this is something that came out, I think, about 2010, and maybe I'll send you that because I think it's probably relevant to what you're saying.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. I just want to. Someone just asked where can I see Richard Hall's shows. So you can go Rich Planet Videos, and you can see all of his stuff right here. So I just sent it in the chat so that the computer man, and also Susie Glucksman says she has the same birthday as Trump. Unreal. So she's the Moonchild. All right. Yes. Yeah. So going back to so that's interesting. So the cult interpretation of it. Yeah. So the reason we have the Trump birthday is when the Roswell was noticed by Farmer Mac Brazil, 1947. So first year, and then what's interesting is the crash site was closed off for 71 years. So from 1947 it was closed off, and then it was opened when Trump was president. I made a giant timetable here. So let's go here. So the Roswell incident. Okay, did I skip down? Okay, where's the Roswell? So this is different ones. Actually, Corona started there, and then 2018. Yeah. So basically, in 2018, Trump directs the DoD to create the Space Force. This is in June 18th, and then 2 weeks later, Roswell UFO crash sites opened to the first time in public. So it was closed the entire time since 1947 when it started in Trump's birthday. Then it was opened up, and then a year later, in December 20th. Okay, I think you're is that? Oh, you sent a link. Okay, nice. So it's December 20th, 2019, the Space Force was created at the same time COVID was starting. All right, and I was going back to that also. The Space Commission was also starting in 1/11/2001, just before the 2001 event happened. All right, but yeah, this is out of my train of thought. But you could, if you had a look at the Trump one, there's a lot of weird, fascinating stuff there. Even the Grenfell fire was on Trump's birthday. And this one, it was actually burning for 60 hours or so, and it did not turn to dust. So that's all right, I'll see your link you sent. Let's go to the Flynn PDF. Open it here.
Yeah, you may be able to find other versions of this because on Scribd you get apps.
Yeah, okay. And a cult translation of the Roswell event. All right, interesting. Mysteries are due to secrecy, etc. That is true. And then
it was on like 33.33 degrees of the Great Circle or something is where this crash allegedly took place. So.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, it's always at 33. So yeah, so
right.
What I do in my video right here, and because there's a lot of coincidences. What I did was have 10 coincidences, or 10 separate coincidences that I think are related to, like pretty related, and then I go into a summary. Then extra ones that are just a bit out there. Like, for example, the most watched NBA game was on June 14th, Trump's birthday. And also, if you go 666 times 3, that's going to be 1998. So, and the NBA started in 1946. I think so, I'm going to do a part 2 eventually, because there's a whole bunch of weird stuff. Even the first mass transport to Auschwitz concentration camp was on June 14th. So, like, the first one was actually there. And some other stuff there. But yes, I'll have a look at your occult another thing about these, like a lot of these patterns and so on, it's a lot of it is after the fact. So the reason I made this Trump video is because I think it's gonna happen. Like, so I'm predicting eventually. I'll predict that it's something epic's gonna happen involving him, such as world government. Where my view is he's gonna eventually, let's say the world war is gonna happen. He's gonna lose. U.S. is gonna lose. UN's gonna take control. And then they're gonna say, and then they're gonna say, oh, well, we're not gonna allow a populist president to ever win again. So no country could be sovereign. And then you get a world government, with some possible alien invasion. So that's some of the stuff there. But here, one more coincidence. So I try to root out random coincidences. Like even like, for example, it was on 33 or something like that. I want to make sure it's very, very obvious that it's not a coincidence. And this goes to... Actually, okay, one of them, so the Aleister Crowley one, where they're trying to make the... Jack Parsons, they're trying to make the Moonchild, him and L. Ron Hubbard. Then if you fast forward to 2018 when Trump's president, there's a documentary series about Jack Parsons. And it's called Strange Angel. Let me just go to Jack Parsons. So this is Strange Angel. And they released it on June 14th, 2018 when Trump was president. And the first scene of the movie was a red blood moon in season 1, episode 1. And then he also has this Jack. There's an interesting part here. Jack says that jet-propelled Antichrist documentary, and he also says that he was successful in, and he also predicted his death, saying this was actually I'll read this here. This is an interesting one. So Jack Parsons says that Babylon is incarnate on the earth today, awaiting the proper hour of her manifestation. And in that day will be accomplished. I'll be blown away upon the breath of the fire, and then he gets blown up in some random experiment, supposedly, with his rockets. And actually, let's go some more coincidences right here. So U.S. Flag Day and U.S. Army Birthday are both on June 14th. So like every day when whenever you think patriotism, etc., that's Trump's birthday. So there's the Barack plan, and then here's the driving force behind this movie. I mean, the driving force behind this video I made, just so I realized, okay, I wasn't going crazy with these coincidences, was so you've heard about the movie Friday the 13th? Yeah, so Friday the 13th. So this interesting part is the serial killer was supposedly born. He was supposed to be born on June 13th, 1946. And it's pretty much in New Jersey, right beside Manhattan, and so on. Right, so this is the part where it kind of gets a bit out there. I had to make a video just because it's ridiculous. But then if you look at the calendar, there is no Friday, June 13th, 1946. That's June 14th. That's Trump's birthday. Okay, so there is no. This is what I mean by like going beyond just coincidence or even synchronicity. Yeah. This is beyond synchronicity. Okay, so and the whole thing is about it because there's a killer. And there's a whole bunch of moons. And then if you look at the movie poster of the original, there's a person in the background. There's a killer. Friday the 13th. There's a blood right here, and there's a moon. There's a full moon. But it's actually June 14th, 1946. So Friday the 13th is actually Friday the 14th. And the whole thing's about it. Moons is a whole bunch of there. And then fast forward, but then the movies don't. The early ones don't state that his birthday is June 13th, 1946. That movie that was actually done was in the 1988, I think it was a 1988 or 87 movie. Let's go here. So someone wrote it here. In the 8th movie. So the 8th movie, if you go fast forward to it, it's called Friday the 13th, Jason Takes Manhattan. So this is the movie where it was called, where Trump was... where it said June 13th, so it's kind of like they kind of knew, okay, Trump psyops starting, and now you have a reality TV host, literally on TV. If you've seen the cameras right here, circus. So this was yesterday actually. I think it was yesterday. This is the Trump trial.
But the court rejected that.
Okay.
Can you hear this one?
I haven't seen this.
You haven't seen this? Have you seen it or no? Yeah, this was yesterday. So what I mean is the circus, and they have cameros here like this. Have a look here.
I think we're seeing something that we frankly did not expect. There's a camera.
There's cameras. You see those cameras? So there's cameras inside the showroom.
Courtroom. Was that supposed to be, or would they just be simply ushered out when we're gavelled to order?
Okay. And now we'll get to the. It's kind of like a Seinfeld episode.
This is working to his advantage. Look.
And now if you go to the judge, there's a judge.
Background, you've got Trump in the foreground, and it fulfills the narrative on both sides.
So he's pleased with himself.
Yeah. So it's a giant circus. It
is a giant circus.
So that's the thing. Yeah.
Well, I was just going to interject with because I've got another coincidence for you. You may already be aware of this. I put a link in the.
Yeah, I just opened it up. Yeah.
Okay, so. If you look at this and then just simply count down this track list from a record that was released in July 2001, to me, this is one of the most amazing bits of predictive programming regarding 9/11 that I've seen. So you got the name of the group. I am the World Trade Center. That's the name. It's a weird name for a group. The name of the album is Out of the Loop, released in July 2001. I think you can find the date somewhere. And it says 2001 there. It says July somewhere else. Count down the track listing, starting and see what you get to.
It's 316, 242.
Well, you don't worry about the times. I haven't bothered about the times.
Oh, the Metro Brooklyn Mix Me to Be.
That's track 1. Track 2 is Me to Be, etc.
That sounds so crazy. Look around, light delay, inside your head, hollow tunnel, flute.
And
that's a hollow
track
tunnel.
number 10, which is You Don't Even Know Her.
You don't even.
Track number 11 is
Move On, analogous. September. Move
track
On.
number 12. Track number 11 is September.
Yeah. So You Don't Even Know Her. September. Move On, analogous. Metro Athens Mex. It's interesting. So speaking of predictive programming, this one is kind of okay. So you're saying that was the most. I'll show you this one. Manhattan. So guess when Manhattan was discovered?
Oh, is it Trump's birthday?
No, September 11th.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so Manhattan, so Henry Hudson discovered Manhattan Island and the indigenous people living there September 11th, 1609. So and here's a painting, and this painting is from 1898. Sir Henry Hudson entering New York Bay, September 11th, 1609.
Wow.
So that's a bit out there. And there's another thing further. So 1980 book called The Birth of Jesus Recalculated by Ernest L. Martin calculated Jesus' birthday was actually September 11th, 3 BC. All right.
There you go.
And this is the day of the trumpet, so that's interesting stuff there. But yeah, but there's a whole lot of videos of people making it about. There's a lot of parallels between Jesus and Trump. It's kind of like it's like Antichrist predictive programming, and that QAnon comes in with it as well. So QAnon literally thinks, where's that guy, Circus? Or actually the photo. Have you seen that have you seen the most viral photo of all time? Which
I don't know.
Let's just write Trump. So yeah, if you see my Telegram, there's a whole bunch of Trump stuff because he's a giant. I just want to get to the photo. Let's see, okay, Mr. Warp Speed. Oh yeah, so right now he's leading the anti-vax movement. Yet he pushes the vax everyone. I just want to get that photo. Okay, actually this is a good one here first. We'll play this one here. So this is the Hungary Prime Minister.
So if you were in charge of NATO, if you were, say, Joe Biden...
Have you had a
recent several decades.
Have you seen what he says here or no?
No, I don't think so.
So
I don't remember.
So look what look at what a president of a prime minister of a country is saying.
Charge of NATO, if you were, say, Joe Biden, what would your next move be in the war in Ukraine? What would you do?
Peace, immediately. Call back Trump. that's the only way out.
Call back Trump.
Call back Trump. Because,
It took it going right along
you
there.
can criticize him for many reasons. I understand all the discussion, but the best foreign policy of the
He looks a bit like a smarter, chubbier version of David Icke, that guy.
Yeah, that is true. They probably have the same robot programming that they made.
him.
Maybe.
He did not initiate any new war.
Yes.
He treated nicely the North Koreans and Russia, even the Chinese. He delivered a policy which was the best one for Middle East, Abraham Accords.
Yes.
So that was a very good foreign policy. He's criticized that he's not educated enough to understand the world. But this is not the case. Facts count, and his foreign policy was the best one for the world in the last several decades I have seen. And if he would have been the president at the moment of the Russian invasion started, no, it would be not possible to do that by the Russians. So Trump is the man who can save the Western world and probably the human beings in the globe as well. That's my personal conviction.
All right, so Trump's the world savior. Okay, so that was the one. What was I looking for? Or the photo? Trump's mugshot, yeah. So Trump's mugshot is probably the most viewed of all time. So he posted on August 24th when he got arrested, when he got his mugshot taken. He finally posted on Twitter after not going on it for years. And this is the most viewed ever. this is within like an hour. It had like 33 million views. And look at this. So the QAnon thinks this guy is gonna save the world. And let's see. You had the most. I think you had the most viewed ever million. Let's write million. Where's Trump? Trump million.
Trump mugshot 600 million. I think it said there on your. Oh, that's Ronaldo, isn't it? Sorry,
Ronaldo mugshot. Yeah, I put random stuff on there. Trump's got 200 million. 200 million in like yeah. This was in still a day. August 24th. So 200 million almost instantly. And this is what I mean by he's like a mini Trump. So if you go to what is the thing? Trends. Go to Google Trends. So what I do is it's investigate random stuff. I just get the so yeah, this one I have a default one, Pizzagate fake news, because fake news was created literally at the same time they Pizzagate. It's like right after. So anything to call fake news. But I'm just gonna go erase this. So we're gonna write Trump. We'll just do some comparison, and we'll do all the search trends from 2004 till present. All right, so this is Trump there, and then you can see what's relative there. What's COVID? Let's see what's the relative size. All right, okay, so he's about half. So his keyword searched about half as much as COVID at its peak.
Okay.
So that's quite a lot. Let's go 9/11. See how much 9/11 searched. All right, so 9/11. So if you think about, especially during this peak, because it's been a long time since 9/11. So Trump is searched, or like there's searches about Trump like 10 times more than 9/11. And then they peaked right here in his election. So I think if he wins again in some sort of probably either stolen or whatever side they're gonna have, it might even surpass COVID. In the so like this, the important part about this is the world's attention is on there. So like while we're talking about 9/11, we can't even see it on the chart. So let's remove COVID. All right, let's just compare. So 9/11 is literally tiny spikes, and then and it's usually on 9/11, and Trump's still ahead of them, almost right when he started announced he's running for president. He's higher trends every single time. And just to compare, let's see how Biden is, just to see what's similar. Yeah, so Biden had one spike and then had pretty much nothing. But then look when Trump won, it's literally like doubled what Biden's little spike was. All right, so I have that part. And just to illustrate, so we can't even see 9/11 there. So let's remove this. And let's remove this. And then, so there's 9/11. And then if you go 9/11 Truth, for example. At a good... So 9/11 Truth is even less than that. So this just shows you what public perception is. So we're like pretty much aliens to regular people.
Well, but okay, that said, but how accurate are these Google statistics, though? You know, some people would argue, and I might even be one of those, that they do massage these statistics. You know, so
possibly.
How reliable are they? You know,
possible, but you could probably use any other ones. They're going to show similar ones. For example, even if you use SimilarWeb. Yeah. So you can go, let's say, Judy Wood's website, and then we could even use yours. They probably have more traction now. I have a SimilarWeb fidget right here. So we could look at the views. So about 12,000 views per month, visits, 12,000 visits per month. So that's 12,000. If you go to something like BBC.
That's about 100 million or something, isn't it?
Yeah, we're talking 500 million. Yeah, so even if you go to my website, so Judy was like 5,000. If you go to my website, MES.fm, 92,000 now. But when it's exam season, it's probably like almost 1 million. And then if you go even check the evidence, so
yeah, mine's not. Yeah,
but yours is decent actually. I think it was decent for 30,000. So yours is much higher than even Judy Wood's one. Yeah, so what I mean is it's very tiny. But then if you go to, let's say, David Icke's website.
Yeah, that'll be like 1 million or something. Or
yeah, David Icke website.com, davidicke.com.
Easily.
Yeah, so then he has 900,000. Yeah, so it's pretty much 1 million.
Million. Yeah.
Rose Icke 9 banned again. Like what is this guy? Yeah, so they have like full production teams, and this guy, so that's what I mean. Kind of. Then even if you go to Flat Earth, even if you go Flat Earth, they have Flat Earth Society. So like. There's alt media, then there's like actual like alt media. Even if you Infowars, probably in the millions. Just it's a Flat Earth Society. Let's see how much this one is. 46,000. Okay, it's picking up, so it's just a bit more than yours. But that's just one website here. Okay, so let's say going back to that social thingy here. I just want to keep going. So basically, nothing's there, and if you get rid of 9/11 there.
Okay.
Yeah, and these are it's I think generally accurate. And you could even go, let's say, flat Earth now. So flat Earth, yeah, way more than 9/11 truth. Yeah, so especially, and you can see where it peaked. It's usually when Trump won presidency. Actually, November 2017 is when flat Earth was peaking. Okay, and also 2016. But yeah, so I'll just give you an illustration of like. Yeah, so anytime you bring up conspiracy, the first thing people bring up is flat Earth, which is interesting.
That's right.
Okay, so Smart says Rich Planet videos have to be refreshed a lot to be playable for me. Yes, and download them too.
Yeah.
I started downloading pretty much any.
That's true.
ones I see.
Yeah.
But also, like, it's important to just upload them to whoops, not a note, anywhere you can, like Odyssey and so on. All right, let's just see the time we have right now, because I'm getting a bit tired. So we have 44 people. What was the max? Does anyone know what the max people were? I think the record was 59 during my question and answer period of 9/11. All right, so that's what we have. I'm gonna put a timer, and then we'll. This website, me and my brother created for MES.
Nice.
So if you go here, timer, and then what I do is so we'll try to end it off in like 15 minutes. Just pretty much call it quits. 15. Start. Put the sound off, and then you can see it in the tab as well. And so is there anything you want to talk about, or we have questions from the people here?
Yeah, if there's any questions, I mean, thanks for what you've covered. You know, I was expecting that you would be able to teach me some things tonight, and that's true. That's happened, so that's good. But yeah, I mean, just a few words about you know, a lot of these things I haven't really followed because I've kind of backed off from a lot of this now. You know, as I was saying earlier on, I've sort of been at this 20 years now, really. Since I started doing stuff, so I'm sort of winding down a bit now, really, because you know, I've got to the point where I don't feel I can do a lot more than I've done, and you know, I'll be 59 next month, and you know, my brain certainly doesn't work as quickly as yours. It's still not bad, but you know, I can see a difference now in. So I'm glad that there are younger people like yourself coming up and who are extremely conversant with all the technology. You know, when I came through university in between 83 and 86, this technology was in its infancy. There was no internet, so I've had to learn all of that myself. So I'm glad that you've people like you and you know, and everyone are doing all of this very effectively. So thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you've helped a whole lot, especially your 2 books. They're my go-to for when anyone asks anything about pretty much anything 9/11. Almost always, I just look at them. But yeah, no, it's great. It's great, and thanks. And yeah, for me, I kind of take 9/11 personally, because I was actually so my story is I was actually born in Iraq. So I was born in Iraq.
Okay.
So we came here during the first Gulf War. Yeah, and as refugees. And then and then 9/11, I kind of bought the story, but I was then still in high school or wherever I was, and then I kept it for a long time, and then afterwards, then they bombed Iraq and so on, and it still didn't dawn on me. Then once I realized it, I'm like, all right, so they literally used 9/11 to like kill at least 1 million Iraqis. Like, so it's kind of like personal for me. So I kind of. So there won't be any slowing down for me, even as long as I'm gone. So So every 9/11, I'm gonna be talking about 9/11, and now what I've started doing is every weekend I'm gonna focus on 9/11 if I have time. So that's why I uploaded your video, I think last week. But yeah, you wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's easy for me to forget this because, you know, I have really no connection with the incident itself, and certainly none in the way that you know have, and of course from the point of view of citizenship of countries, obviously the UK promoted the attack on Iraq, and obviously got Blair's role and all of that. You know, it's just disgusting. You know, when you stop and think about it. And you know, I don't really, I haven't talked about that much, obviously. because other people from the get-go protested against the war in Iraq. But sadly, I think, talking on that for a minute, those very like, for example, I'll give you an example of how ridiculous that is. One of the early figures that I came into contact with was David Shaler, who used to work for MI5. He was an MI5 officer, and he came out in 1998, and he said there was this plot that he'd come across whilst he was working in MI5 to kill Colonel Gaddafi, and he couldn't believe it. He didn't think MI5, was involved in such things. But he actually went on BBC Two News in 1998, and he disclosed that story. And then he went on the run because they threatened to arrest him for breaking the Official Secrets Act, because he disclosed, secret information on national television. And follow up to that was he ended up going to prison, I think, for like a week or 2 weeks or something. But then by 2004, David Shaler had started speaking out against the official narrative of 9/11, and he was involved with a UK group called Stop the War. And so he was pointing out that because the official narrative of 9/11 was false, then they had no justification at all for invading Iraq. And yet the Stop the War movement they stopped him from speaking at their rallies, and that's when he essentially joined, quote unquote, the 9/11 truth movement. And he was one of the early sort of influencers of myself, really. And he came and spoke at an event that I organised, and he was very well known at that time. So, again, I was just an observer there, and I've got to thank somebody like David Shaler for bringing attention to the issues, and helping us raise the 9/11 issue early on. And that was back in 2005. So there you are.
Yeah, that's interesting. What's that name? David Shaler.
Shaler, yeah.
Okay, because I think it's a different person I was thinking about. Here,
Robin Cook, I think you got
yeah,
that,
so Robin Cook. Yeah, you've seen this one where the guy he discovered that. So Bin Laden was the product of monumental miscalculation. So he said Al Qaeda was literally just a database. Originally, computer file of the thousands of mujahideen or whatever.
Mujahideen, yeah. For people that are not familiar, there is a video. I think you might find it on Web Archive. They can get it from me if they want. It's called The Power of Nightmares. And that was actually a BBC documentary, and it actually documents quite well what you're showing on the screen there.
Yeah. And then this is what happened. You heard what happened to Robert Cook. So then in early August 2005, so he suddenly suffered a severe heart attack, collapsed and lost consciousness and then fell down a ridge while he was hiking. And he was assisted by after his fall by another hill hiker who refused all publicity and was granted anonymity. All right.
Anonymity, yep.
Yeah. All right. That's the other photo. But I just want to chime in here. So Timothy Sylvan just donated $9.99. Epic. Thanks for the super chat donation. And also I was gonna say another thing here. I just kind of got sidetracked. So here, a helicopter containing paramedics arrived 30 minutes after a 999 call. Just a occult note. If you flip that upside down, that's 666. Even the typical pricing of $999 is just upside down 666. It's a lot of.
I think we've also in the UK. That's the UK emergency number, but also I think that's now changed to 111 as well. So there you have another one, really. But
that's interesting. So also we have some questions now. So 9/11 Revisited has asked me, and also on Telegram. So he said, this question for you, Andrew. Andrew, speaking to people on 9/11, what is the best approach?
This question came up with Jeremy Nell yesterday, and really you've got to work out how much they already know and how much they're interested in. But I start by saying, do you know what happened to the World Trade Center? That's a starting point. Are the buildings still there, or are they gone? Go from there. But quite often, you need the pictures. I like I was saying yesterday, I have these pictures on my phone in a PowerPoint, and I use the WPS Office app to display them. That's got a very good PowerPoint viewer in WPS Office if you've got a tablet or an Android phone, and you can, anybody that wants that PowerPoint, I can send them it. But you can download stuff, get pictures on your phone, then you can show the towers turning to dust if you can engage people, but you may already lose them pretty early on. You need to have the pictures to show to people and discuss, because if you want to capture their attention, otherwise, it's going to be really tough. And getting on directed energy weapons, they might not even know what you're talking about. So
yeah. Yeah, I usually ask if they know about the hurricane on 9/11.
Yeah, that's a good one as well, actually. But again, they'd say, "What? Okay, hurricane. What's that got to do with it?" Oh, and then you've got to get in and start explaining about field effects and stuff. And it's very tough. So I think that's harder to start there unless you're already interested.
Yeah, and then usually when if they do have some talking, I kind of show them right here. This video. Yeah, so I don't know if you've seen this video or not. These are just some people. I think they're in war-torn Ukraine right now.
Well, I've got another couple of questions, Matthew. We've got Max Spock.
Yeah, we have another.
He said, "How did the G weapons work, and where were they fired from?" Well, this is something we've covered in other videos, but briefly speaking, Mac, if that's your real name, which I doubt, but it could be. How did the G weapons work? Well, they worked on the principle of field effects or field interference, and this is something that Dr. Wood describes in her book, Where Did the Towers Go? Some of it is on the Dr. Judy Wood website, if you go there and poke around there. Where were they fired from? We don't know is the simple answer. Speculating, there may have been different components in different places. Certainly the hurricane component was 500 miles away. The microwave component possibly nearby, possibly from above. We don't really know. It appears that microwaves are involved, or something like microwaves. Again, we don't know. Really, you need to address those questions to somebody at Science Applications International Corporation. They were pretty sure. They know who did 9/11.
Yeah. And I just want to chime in. So one thing when we speak about the weapons on it, because a lot of people think it's just simple firing a weapon, etc. But not necessarily. I want to show this one because this is a pretty epic video of someone. These guys just took apart a microwave oven and then turned it into a weapon, which is unbelievable. But we'll get to that in a bit. But I want to show just these material specific. This is from Reality Access. The columns. So the columns here. Yeah, these columns in the 9/11, they had the super hard nuts inside, the bolts inside turned to dust. So this is not cut or anything. So the whatever on 9/11 that was used was able to turn the actual screws right here, like the super hardened bolts inside the columns into dust, and then these just fell out after. So this is a perfectly clean. So these are just perfectly clean. Columns right here. As you can see here, there's tightening the bolts there. So somehow they're able to affect only the bolts on some of the members. And then you can see them. Yeah. So these are super hardened ones. You can't just use even if you use a blowtorch, it's not going to do anything to them. And then somehow these were just disintegrated. And so some of them were found. So you can see them. And then if you see on the rubble, you see a whole bunch of these just square columns. I'm just fast forwarding. Yeah, you'll see a whole bunch of these somehow gone, but the columns remain. So you'll see all the bolts are gone. So this is not a cut. This is not a cut off. This is just the bolts gone of the bottom columns. So the question is, what in the world's going on here? So somehow you're able to not just, for example, everyone thinks fire a beam, but also interfere, or you're possibly using multiple beams or something like that, where you interfere specific resonance on the specific material, and then also people as well. So with some of the jumpers, they probably fine-tune it so that you'll target specifically biological life and then have them jump. And so it wasn't just like you just target something and that's it. I think there was a full operation going on, that everything needed to be specific. So you'll see a whole bunch of these. Almost all of these have the bolts gone. So somehow the bottom, so it's as if they didn't want to damage the bottom part too much, so it looks like you have some rubble. So that was my chiming in. And then Joe Lafima says, do you have any calibration with Chris Hampton? Well, I've talked to him, but interestingly, so he's kind of gone off the radar, TikTok, Chris Hampton. But he's on TikTok, and he started doing another channel, but he kind of changed it up. And I was in a collaboration where I mentioned the golden ratio. I talked about Fibonacci in in like foreign exchange or cryptocurrency charts. So it might have been somewhere in here.
Embrace the enchantment of numbers and allow the intricate pattern.
This is his other channel right here. Just want to find if I can find myself in it, because his channel's gone. His YouTube channel, actually. We'll get to that later. But anyways, there's something like that. I made a little video there, but we may be able to find it. I'm gonna go Fibonacci. All right. Let's see what. Yes, MES made a cameo here. Yeah, good thing I downloaded it. So here's
in finance, traders and analysts leverage Fibonacci retracements to identify potential price levels.
All these lines are Fibonacci. They're like a ratio of Fibonacci, and there's 0.618. And notice how it's like there's a price there, and there's another level. Each level there's typically a Fibonacci, and the traders typically follow that. Almost always there's a Fibonacci in there.
In finance.
All right, so that was me, my collaboration with Chrysanth. And let's see some other comments. There's a whole bunch of questions here. We could probably... Is there any evidence of health effects as a result of direct energy weapons upon the people in the area? Well, yeah, a lot of people were turned to dust, and there's probably some others. I just have to think about it.
I think to weigh in on that, the health effects seem to be either fatal or minimal. I think, again, as with the buildings, there was we know that really only the World Trade Center buildings themselves were damaged or destroyed. And okay, there was a bit of damage to the Bankers Trust and a bit of damage to a few of the surrounding buildings. And it seems to have been the same with people. Either they were completely gone, or they suffered very few health effects. We've seen. I think Dr. Woods did. I don't know how much of this is in her book, but I know she shared with me some pictures, of some people that were injured, and that's an area which is not talked about very much, actually. Perhaps because people don't really want to talk about their own injuries, from that. It's very painful to talk about such things, and 9/11 itself. So. But that, in the extreme, if you consider the so-called 9/11 surfer who survived a fall from 20 floors or whatever, that seems to be the case. That and we talked about the stairwell beer firefighters as well. They were right in the midst of it all, yet they were unharmed, and I think they certainly lived for quite a few years after the events. So.
Yeah,
that's the partial answer to your question.
And actually, here's one I just remembered now. So when he's talking about people affected by directed energy weapons, this one I was gonna upload actually possibly this weekend on YouTube. So this is a Stephen Newman. I don't know if you've heard about it, Andrew, where he said that he helped a person that was severely burned on 9/11, but none of his clothes were burned. Again, listen to this.
And as I was doing that and got to the west side of the street, I saw an individual coming down that was clearly, he was completely burned from head to toe, and all of his skin had come off his forearms and his face, and his hair was all gone, and looked a little disoriented. So he seemed to be on his cell phone, either talking to somebody or trying to reach somebody. And I asked him what happened. What was amazing about his story was that he was in the lobby of World Trade Center 1 when the first plane hit. And when the debris started coming down, he went back to go into the building to protect himself and was in the revolving doors going back in off West Street when he looked up and a fireball came flying out, I guess from the elevator shafts, that's what he seemed to believe, and blew out all the windows and threw him back onto the street. And obviously, in a fire flash, seared all his skin. But apparently nothing, all his clothes, none of his clothes were burned. So that was pretty amazing. And he was shaking, and it was clear.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, did I have am I listening to myself speak? Oh, I think that might have been from yours.
Yeah, it's probably from mine. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That was just a tiny bit. But yeah, so this person was someone affected by it. So he says he was completely burned from head to toe. All of his skin is gone, and his forearms, and his face, his hair was gone, but none of his clothes were burned. And he got blown off from the revolving door and thrown off to the street. So what in the world happened? So none of his So whatever it was not conventional heat. And this guy says it was amazing. All right, and then 9/11 Revisited says the 9/11 surfer is still alive and well. He fell from the 22nd floor in stairwell B. Yes, he still is. Oh, yeah. So this guy says, why can't anyone answer me if Trump is really the CIC or the chief in command? Command of what? He's just a clown. Chief clown, maybe. Because you got to realize that 9/11 shows that politics, as we know it, is fake. Like, for example, why is he not talking about 9/11, like directed energy weapons, free energy? Because the longer he doesn't talk about it, the more people die. So in other words, that's kind of the way to look at it.
But this is like a lot of other things. I mean, the lies are so egregious and so massive. That unless you're just an ordinary, honest person, you're just not going to talk about it. Trump's never going to talk about it. I used to say, the QAnon people, I did have some sympathy with them for some of it, but then I was always saying, well, and Putin as well, those that were saying, oh, Putin's going to, Putin's really a good guy and all of this, and I was saying, well, does Putin have access to Amazon? Does Trump have access to Amazon, to buy a book? Why haven't they got a copy of Where Did the Towers Go? Why aren't they showing the world this? Because that would undo everything, really, if they were openly talking about what's in that book.
Yeah.
And I think this is the point, really, isn't it, of why we spend time doing this. We know that all of that, the climate change, and I said this with Jeremy yesterday, the climate change narrative evaporates.
Yeah.
It's justified. The energy narrative is destroyed. The military narratives are all completely rewritten. They would be neutralized. All of it. This is the proverbial big one, and that's why Dr. Judy Wood's book has been so viciously attacked, and she has too. And I've got off pretty lightly in all of this, really, So I'm quite appreciative of that, really.
That was good, yeah. And speaking about the QAnon stuff, so initially I just ignored them for the longest time because I'm like, obviously no president's gonna help us. And then I kind of went a bit on the offensive because I realized that one of the QAnons, they were saying that one of the leaks was, or one of the whatever releases, saying that they're gonna bomb Iran and then Israel. so QAnon is telling people, and I have the thumbnail here. This is the video. Have you seen the General Wesley Clark saying that he's going to invade 7 countries in 7 years?
Yeah, I saw that a good few years ago. Yeah, I made some repostings of that. Very
so
troubling.
I uploaded this one, but so Iran is supposed to be the next, or 7 countries in 5 years. So Iran is next, and then I saw QAnon talking about Iran bombing Iran. So I had the screenshot here, free Iran, and then Trump started talking about bomb Iran. I'm like, all right, so we know the script. And Iran also wants Trump assassinated. Like, I'll explain that in a bit. So I wrote demented puppet. This guy calls him Commander-in-Chief, actually. So demented Commander-in-Chief, I'm just inserting that in. Threatening war with Iran via Twitter. So Iranian President Rouhani, never threaten the United States again or you will suffer consequences, the likes of which few throughout history have suffered before. We are no longer a country that will stand for your demented words of violence and death, all right? And then this was July 22nd, 2018, but a month before that, you have QAnon saying, free Iran, fight, regime change, people have the power, we stand with you, Q. All right, so, and then there's the famous, I don't know if you've seen the famous Bomb Iran song by John McCain.
Yeah, maybe I have seen that, yeah.
Okay, so
it's quite old, isn't it?
Yeah, so my timer's done. But we'll go through this a bit more. I just want to go a tiny bit, and then we'll end it. I'm just going to go through some, and then we'll end it. Just so I don't want to lose the train of thought. Where did I go? All right. That's peaked right here.
It's well documented that we have, for quite a long time now, known where the real problem is in the Middle East. And in fact, the president adequately described it as the axis of evil. I guess my question is, how many times do we have to prove that these people are blowing up people? Now, never mind if they get a nuclear weapon, when do we send them an airmail message to Tehran?
Even the commenter was saying, why aren't we bombing Iran? All right.
That old Beach Boys song, Bomb Iran? Bomb. Anyway.
right. So we have that one, and then we have this is the commander-in-chief, Trump. So remember when you were saying that they were laughing together? Yeah, because they were all his friends. Okay, that was that part, and then one more clip, and then we'll probably end it. I just want to get to... Have you seen the George Bush laughing about WMDs?
Don't think I've seen that particular one, no.
Yeah, this is kind of what I mean by when people talk about presidents. Presidents are more like actors. Like Trump's literally a reality TV host, and Elon Musk was yesterday live streaming video games on Twitter. So he's playing video game on testing out the live stream by playing video game, and everyone's watching, saying, "Oh, he's just like us." No, he's not. Well, he is in some ways as an actor. There. And these are all journalists. This is at a press meeting.
Those weapons of mass destruction got to be somewhere.
Yeah,
nope, no weapons over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's using the earpiece.
Yeah, so they're laughing at millions, at least just absolutely ridiculous things. Okay, so that is it. I'm going to start closing, and silver balls. Someone's saying about silver balls levitating. All right. Anyways, I think that's pretty much it. Is anything else anyone wants to chime in? Unless they have a super chat, I probably won't read them. Let's exit. All right. So yeah, thanks, Andrew, and yeah. Andrew Johnson, I try to go through your audiobooks once a year. Okay, so Reality Access, Richard reads your once a year epic stuff. Sunny G says diabolic. All right, and actually I'm going to play this. Okay, this is the one I want to play just to show you because I wanted to test this experiment out. So these guys got a microwave, took out the microwave setup there.
Tube, yep.
Yeah, and then they started blowing up cell phones with it. Let's play this.
Get ready.
All right.
Wow. He didn't have his protective gear on, did he?
Yeah, these guys are in a war zone right now. I think they're in Ukraine or Russia or something like that. So that's I'll play that. Put that video in here in the chat. All right. Let's delete the.
Yeah.
All right, that is all, guys. Any last remarks, Andrew?
Yeah, well, thanks to everyone for the questions and everything. Thanks to Matthew for organising it, and thanks for all you're doing. And keep up the good work.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks. And actually, I have one more question for you. It's about Richard Hall. Is he busy with the illegal stuff, or is there any chance he can come?
Yeah,
on?
he's kind of keeping his head down with that basically now. Yeah. He'll probably resurface at some point.
Well,
but I
was hoping if he can show up on a live stream just to talk about the legal case, just to give him an avenue. If he ever needs, he can come on. So.
Yeah, he did do an interview for the Light newspaper, but they didn't publish it. So you can read about that. He's posted it on his website though, so you know he's you can go and read that somewhere on there.
Because I think it'll be like I want to kind of use my platform as well to like help you guys out as well. So if Andrew, if you can speak, I'm gonna message him as well. But if you can talk to him, let him know if he ever wants to come.
Yeah,
on
I'll tell him that you might message him, and then so I think I don't know if he knows who you are, but I'll let him know.
Oh,
yeah,
no,
great.
No, he knows who I am. I messaged him.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
Great.
Yeah, he actually read a couple of my emails on blockchain and cryptocurrency.
Oh, cool.
In one of the CBDC stuff, you might have seen some of it. So basically, and if you get in contact with him, just let him know he's free to always come on the show and talk about, especially his legal stuff, get it public.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good. All right. That is all. Radicalized the moderates. That's all. Bye, Matt. Yeah. Thanks. Bye, Paul. Bye, Tim. 9/11 Revisionist by Richard, by Sunny G, and everybody else, and IQ. All right. That's all, guys. Have a good one. I'm pressing the end stream. Ready in 3, 2, 1, and ending. All right. And that's ended, Andrew. Anything else?
Okay.
Yeah. So we're